Look at this crew. Oh, it's swinging for the fences. That's exactly what JSU did with the schedule today, JT Hayes. He swung for the fences. He missed, but at least he swung. JT Hayes, AP, Holden, let's get you through this 9-game slate. You knew JSU couldn't shut his mouth, so of course the show went late. Had nothing to do with you or Big T, AP. It was all about JSU again. You know, he's got that Napoleonic complex, just has to be louder than everybody else, has to speak more than everybody else. See, it works both ways, JSU, and I'm on for 2 hours and you only want for one. Good morning, JT Hayes. How are you, my friend?
Hey, listen, if JSU wants to speak for hours talking about his NBA knowledge, his MLB takedown knowledge, I mean, I'll sit there and listen. I don't mind.
Of course you will.
Being a few minutes, delayed to get here because JSU was invoking and relaying the knowledge to the people. So I'm doing well on this Sunday. Holden, how about you? You look like you showered today, which is nice.
I didn't.
Okay.
No,
all right.
didn't
Well,
shower.
You're putting on a good.
I haven't showered yet either.
It's been a couple days.
We're good.
Been a couple days.
Hasn't been a couple days, but I haven't showered yet today. So
it's been a couple days. JT Hayes, thanks for asking. Friday afternoon. Friday night was a good. I don't know. Maybe it was back in Thursday. I don't remember what day it was, but it was one of those days. JT Hayes. Wonderful to see your smiling face. And then AP, good morning. You, my friend, had a pretty good night last night in the old baseball. Am I correct? At least you hit it.
Yeah, I was close. I had 2 goose eggs on there, but the Braves almost got it done for me. So it was a nice night.
All right, very good. Make sure
they put up like 9 runs, 8 or 9, or maybe it was 7, but
I think it was 7. I think they lost.
Dansby Swanson got it done for me.
Dansby had a nice night. Dansby's starting to hit everybody. And that's the thing that we're seeing, right? First couple of weeks of the season, everybody overreacts. It's like, oh my God, here in Atlanta especially, right? Home of the world champions. And it hasn't gone so well in the early go. It's like, oh, Dansby's not hitting. This guy's not hitting. Everyone is going to be fine. All these pitchers that started off slow. Saw it with you, Darvish, last night. Big comeback game against the Dodgers. These things even out over the course of this long Major League Baseball season.
Okay, let me just throw out a stat at you, okay? I'm so excited today with this statistic. So my buddy Adam Burke, I'll be working with him doing a baseball show on VSiN tonight. Average fly ball distance by season through April 22nd. We didn't do 2020 here. 2019, 322 feet. That was the juice ball. Last year, 318. This year, 311 feet. I mean, we're 11 feet per fly ball down, JT Hayes, through the 22nd of April now. Over the last 5 years, really, if you go back. So do we have enough data now in April to say there's going to be something going forward? Are they using 2 balls again? Bob Nightingale said they could be using 2 balls again. What the hell is going on with baseball? Like, how do we handicap this so we can apply it to DFS?
Yeah, we talked about this on the Sweet Spot pod that I recorded this week with JSU and Title. And first of all, look at this ball, right? You probably can't see it all that well. This is a ball from spring training in Arizona, and you can see the seams there. The seams, if you compare this to the ball that was used a couple of years ago, the seams were a lot more even with the baseball. So the ball is different, and it's kind of wild to think about a sport just changing the equipment, right? I mean, we forget it was like 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago that Tom Brady was suspended 4 games for trying to play with and rig the equipment to something that he liked. And here's a sport that's just doing it every single year. So a couple of things to add context to what you're talking about, which is the fly ball distance. One, velocity is up about a half a mile per hour early in the season. Looks like the pitchers are a little bit ahead of the hitters as we get started coming off of that shortened spring training. And then the second thing is the temperatures have been cooler throughout the games that have not been played where temperature controlled stadiums, right? So basically outdoor stadiums, the Northeast, the Midwest, even the Upper West in Seattle. We saw even last night, a lot of runs put up, but not a ton of home runs. The temperature was in the 40s. And the other thing that I saw yesterday that was really interesting is the Cubs and the Tigers put up a total between them of somewhere in the neighborhood of 36 runs. And I think there were only 2 home runs hit in those games. So 36 runs, only 2 home runs, something like that. Really, really interesting. And how you impacted or how you translated to DFS, talked about this with JSU too. as well, because he does this better than almost anyone, is you can look at what other combinations can work, not just your 5-3 stacks. You can get away with a 3-3-2 on a slate where you think there's going to be a lot of offense. For instance, last night, if you had Seattle and Kansas City and Atlanta and Miami, if you had any one of those combinations of 3-3-2s, you probably were going to hit on one of those big scores if you were multi-entering. So something to think about on these larger slates as well.
Good morning, AP. You want to just crunch some numbers, relax over there for a few minutes? We'll get going on this. Some other news.
My one comment is like one thing I focused on, since I'm still like heavily into the NBA streets. And I think one, like the Dansby Swanson play, anyone that's like following grinding on a day-to-day basis, they're going to look at that type of play and puke. They're going to be like, no, I'm not going there. So like one benefit to looking at it from more of like a macro viewpoint, big picture viewpoint, is I'm not like seeing like how dusty some play is. It was more so a function of, man, I wanted Trout. I wanted Shohei Ohtani in there. I knew one of them was going to go nuts. And I thought maybe the other guy would get us a home run too. And Mike Trout finally had himself a day. So the other thing I'll say is getting pitching right has been huge for me early on. And so I'm more so focused on getting my pitching pool down to 4 or 5 that I really like and going heavy on those guys. And then I've been mixing it up at the bats. And I've been using SaberSim, and I use their little team totals to help adjust the projections. I bump up the teams I like. I bump down the teams I'm fading, and I've had a lot of success with that. Really simple strategy, but it's worked out for me so far this season.
All right, very good. Just a couple of news and notes here. Eloy Jimenez, 6 to 8 weeks. He's out. So I just think that's big news. We've got some weather today. I don't think there's anything too serious as far as postponements, but there's some nasty stuff coming into Chicago with the Cubs, who waxed Pittsburgh 21-0 yesterday. I mean, I took a double take there once I saw it was like 16. I said 21. Are you kidding me? Winds are blowing out pretty heavy, but when you've got nasty weather coming in, that thing could swirl. So don't expect 9 innings of wind blowing out at Wrigley. I'll tell you that much. We got a little bit of cold weather in Minnesota today. So good luck with that if you're into hitting. And outside of that, I don't see too much, guys. Colorado, Detroit, a little bit of wind there too. Besides for that, we're going to be just fine. So, my friend, JT Hayes, let's get into the pitching here. We'll start on that side. And can you just tell me what the hell is going on with Garrett Cole before we get started? Because this has been a miserable start. Didn't he have like 5 walks in his last start, I want to say? He's been bad, JT.
Yeah, it didn't go well for him against the Tigers, an offense that you would expect that he could dominate on most days. And say what you want about, you know, the use of that spider tag, the sticky stuff, as they called it last season. Garrett Cole has not been the same consistent pitcher that he was when he was able to use those things. So price on DraftKings today, 10.4. I do kind of feel the way that I felt last night about Yu Darvish, and ultimately ended up not playing as much of him as I should have, where Garrett Cole is a better pitcher than he's shown. He's going to have a good performance sooner rather than later. The question is, do I want to pay that price for him on this slate against the Indians, a team that doesn't strike out a whole lot, a team that will take an extra base, will look to steal? I got to take a look and see who's catching him today. I think that's interesting just in terms of the stolen base game for Cleveland. And you have some other options here on this slate, both in that price range and a little bit below.
Trevino's catching him.
Yeah, so that honestly makes me, you know, maybe, I mean, I'll have some Garrett Cole, but I also think a Cleveland mini stack here is interesting, given his difficulty in holding runners on, knowing that their ability to control the running game is going to be a little bit hampered with the weaker catcher behind the plate. Okay.
So talk to me here about some your pitchers that are in your pool. Logan Webb, obviously looking sexy at Washington today. That'd be the next one. What do you got? Give me 3 or 4 pitchers that we can start digging into.
Yeah. So Logan Webb, we'll start there. He's 10K on DraftKings, coming off a bad start against the Mets in New York. only went 3 2/3 innings. I normally don't pay a lot of attention to start velocity, but did note that his velocity was down a couple of ticks in that start against the Mets. And why I think that's interesting to consider is because he was one of the few pitchers out of the gate that was pushed by the manager. 6 innings in his first start when they said he was probably only going to throw 70 pitches. So completely over that threshold. And then 8 innings in his second start. The Nationals have not been striking out. The Nationals have been a really good, well-disciplined team at the plate. Hasn't shown up in the run totals, but there haven't been a ton of big pitcher outings against the Nationals. So that 10K price point is something that I'm looking at and really weighing whether or not I want him or I want other pitchers. I think that Shane McClanahan has pitched really, really well to start the season. His earned run average is 240. His expected earned run average, exactly the same, 240. You like that because that means he's pitching to his talent level. The Yankees put up some runs a couple of nights ago, and they put up some runs yesterday, but I think Aaron Savali at 7-7 against a team that has a lot of swing and miss and a lot of chasing outside the zone is pretty interesting there. And really, I think you look to a couple of guys in the Detroit and the Chicago-Pittsburgh game, and I'll talk about one that I don't think is going to get any ownership, and I'm not real sure yet what I'm going to do with him, but he's a guy we used quite a bit last year. He's a league average pitcher, JT Brubaker, down to 5.5K on DraftKings for the Pirates. And the reason why is, one, the Cubs put up 20-something runs yesterday. The Pirates bullpen is completely depleted. So if he's clean, if he pitches decently, he's got a chance to go into the 6th inning, maybe beyond that, because their bullpen is just absolutely taxed right now. So that's a long shot in GPPs. I usually don't attack the Braves, but I think Jesus Luzardo is a little bit interesting in tournaments here at that 8.5K price point on DraftKings. It's shown really good stuff early in the season, coming off a terrible start, looking for him to bounce back. And then I know that some people are on Chad Kuhl against the Tigers. I think same thought process there with the Tigers putting up 13, 14 runs yesterday, that Kuhl has been a little bit better early on in the season in terms of velocity. Has been up there. And if he can pitch clean, maybe you get him into the 6th inning at a very low price point.
Okay, very good. AP, anything marinating in your numbers right now when you're looking at pitching? You said you got 4 guys. Who's in the pool?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to weed it down to like 4 or 5 guys is usually what I do. So like I'm looking at, so like one thing, the winds in the Midwest right now are just crazy. Like here in Nebraska, like we had 40, 50 mile an hour winds all day. Yes. It seems like every day it's just nuts. And now, those winds are hitting, Chicago too right now. So I want to stack that game up, and there's some cheap bats. Like I think it's going to be easy to find some cheaper bats on the slate. So I'm fine with going to Garrett Cole, and sure, 3 bad starts, but you know what? Like he's a guy like JTA said, like he's going to turn it around eventually. So I view baseball as like it's a long season. DFS wise, we have to understand that as well. Hopefully recency bias brings his ownership down a little bit. Now, I don't think it will because the high price pitching options look to be a little weak on this slate. I know I'm not going to fade him though. I'm going to go right back to Cole and hope he gets things turned around. Cleveland hasn't been like a team that we really wanted to attack, but I think Cole can get it done here. Shane McClanahan is another guy I'm looking at as well. It looks like his price is pretty fair, and he's been one of the stronger pitchers to kind of start the season. Again, not the easiest of matchups, but I'm not too worried about Boston here. And then going down, like my one problem, like with going too deep here is like JT, do you think there's any chance of like a delay or anything in that Cubs game, like with the weather? Like I have no issues with the game, like finishing, but the one reason I bring that up is like stacking it up might be even tastier if we get these starting pitchers out and they're forced to go to the bullpen due to a delay. Do you have any take on that, or have you looked into that at all?
I know there is some weather there. Holden, you were talking about that early on. What is that?
I'm just looking at it right now. I've been to too many games at Wrigley. I grew up going to that place, and the wind's blowing out 50 miles an hour in the 3rd and it's blowing straight in by the 7th inning. So again, you can play that the way you want to. I don't like it. I don't like the wet. I don't like the wet in the 60s. I don't like the wind. You got 40-mile-an-hour.
Oh, you don't like it?
All no, right. Because I don't know. People just assume it blows out every single game. Like, oh, the wind's blowing out today, but it doesn't always blow out. Sometimes the wind goes the other way and it comes in. Sometimes it's going side to side. So
how many runs?
I don't blame you for being on it. Huh?
How many runs did the Cubs put up yesterday?
21. How many runs did the other side put up?
So they're due, right? That's how baseball works.
Oh my God! You did not just say that. AP, I love you, man. You just said that to tell me they're due.
I got all right. Real quick though, to keep this running on. My other question is Lucas Giolito. No one's talking about him. Is that just because he's coming off injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, when I look at this, like he pitched 4 innings. Like, could we get 5 or 6 out of him, or is he on a hard pitch count? Because like 9,400. On a slate where we lack kind of spend up options, he was a guy I was looking at unless he's on a hard pitch count.
I don't know if he's on a pitch count. You would expect that he would be coming off of that injury, but it is Tony La Russa. He learned how to do math on like a scabbard in the late
TI-99. TI-99.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean. And he gets a good matchup here. I mean, the Twins have been striking out quite a bit, and it's a mostly right-handed lineup. So he's not going to be owned nearly as highly as Garrett Cole or even Logan Webb for that matter.
Okay. So again, this is just personal preference, guys. You guys can go do whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
For AP, they could be due. For everybody else, the wind could be blowing out at 40 miles an hour.
The Pirates bats are pretty bad.
Huh?
I said those Pirates bats are pretty bad.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, if you're targeting the Cubs, then go for it. I'm not telling you not to. I've just seen it too many times, guys. But anyways, JT Hayes, look at what we got here. We got 244 watching, 67 likes. So why don't you get on him with that? Everybody knows about this thing. Let's yell at him once and then get it over with. Or be nice once.
No. It's listen, I mean, they're in here, they're getting used to it. We're getting, you're waking up on Sunday morning. And I mean, 248 watching, that number is going to go up. I think we need to get to 200. So I've already hit the like button, doing you guys a little bit of a favor, helping you out, giving you a like to start your quest upward. And I think you should do the same. Subscribe, do all those things.
Do it for Ronald Acuna, please. Who is batting .417 through 4 games and just killing the baseball and needs to be back up with the Braves like ASAP. What are we doing here? What are we waiting for on Ronald Acuna, JT?
I think just to get into game shape. It looks like game shape. I mean,
looks pretty
there's
good.
a reason why they play spring training, Holden, and he didn't get to play spring training.
Yeah.
So they're giving him an opportunity to get into game shape. He looks pretty good, to your point.
Yeah, he's hitting the ball well, seeing it well. You might want to call him up, throw him in the lineup. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Just ask Dr. Holden. Also, bottom right-hand corner is a little red button. It says subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hoop's throwing a big party when it happens. Wow, we're up to 8.56 thousand. All right, that's not bad. You guys are doing a great job. Great to see. And thank you for hitting it twice, Tanya. Tanya, deep breaths this morning. Let's get to the offense, guys. But before we do that, I got marketing points besides for that subscribe thing. If you have not joined us, let me see. Did Uncle T get the playbook done yet? It is Sunday morning, so I'm not going to hold it against him if he didn't. It's tough. Uncle T goes out and parties. No, not yet. He'll have it up.
No, it's up.
He's got it. He got it up. Oh, beautiful. Uncle T, I knew it. I knew you could do it. Anyways, what Uncle T did today, and everybody that does the playbook, they give you a whole bunch of pitchers. They run down the pitching slate, give you a little slate pitching notes. They go position by position, give you the top 5 plays at every single position, except for outfield, where there's quite a few more. And he gives you a slate summary. We got a 9-game slate, no other weather concerns, and the Cubs, blah, blah, blah. It's a great little breakdown. So that's the first thing with the playbook, gives you a nice outline. And then you go to the core plays, and let's see what we got up today on the core plays. Draft Cheat has his core up already. These are the plays that he's playing. I mean, you just got to figure out the other 3 or 4 positions. Uncle T's got his going. How about you, JT Hayes? Are you going to throw a core up there today for us?
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to do that here today. So as soon as I get off here, we'll take a look.
All right. Now, do you want to go position by position or game by game?
We never want to go position by position.
No, we don't. We want to go game by game, don't we? So we want to go to Chad Kuhl and the Colorado Rockies taking on Miguel Cabrera, Mr. 3,000 hits. This guy's, what is he in? The same company as Hank Aaron and Willie Mays with the hits, home runs, and RBIs. He's just, what a career. Talk to me here. Rockies, Tigers, is this a game that we want to target from an offensive side?
I think, like I said, some people like Chad Kuhl. It is 81 degrees in Detroit, wind blowing in a little bit though. And you got to remember that Colorado's bullpen is really, really bad. They get Tyler Alexander for a few innings. He's overpriced in my opinion here. So, the Rockies get Tyler Alexander, the Tigers get Chad Kuhl. On the surface, not a sexy game, but I do think you can look at some pieces here, like even though they're expensive, Chris Bryant and CJ Cron against the left-hander for a few innings. And then on the Detroit side, Austin Meadows starting to hit a little bit, 3.9K. Miggy, big achievement yesterday, so he gets the day off today. Other than that, I don't know that there's a lot of excitement here in this game for me.
Not much excitement. AP, have you looked much at this Rockies-Tigers game today, and is there any interest?
Yeah, I like how the Tigers are hitting the ball right now. I think they're a team that you can include in your stacks, primary if you want to. But I think they fit in as a nice secondary stat. Man, this is tough because I could see Austin Meadows being a guy that gets quite a bit of ownership. And man, when it comes to MLB, I like to be a little bit under on the chalkier value pieces, but he's batting second, outfield 3.9, fair price tag there on him. And so this is where I go into Saber and I just bump up the team total a little bit and I see what the projections look like. And then what I'll do is identify it as kind of like a secondary stack if there's other spots on the slate that I like a little bit more. But yeah, I'm kind of with JT Hayes here. I think this is a game that you should be considering for offense. The weather looks good. It's nice and hot there, 80 degrees. And I think it's a game that could definitely produce some runs.
Okay. For those of you playing NBA, Glock just put his playbook up there. So we have that. We got, what time we got lock in about an hour and a half, right, AP?
Yeah, hour and a half.
Yeah, so we got all our cores going up there. That'll be fun. Yesterday was fun watching 2 things at the same time. It was the Red Sox getting no hit, taking the lead, and then losing. So that was nice to lose money there. And then backing the Nets, which was wonderful. Thank you, Boston, for double screwing me yesterday. It was a wonderful day in the Kushner household. So appreciate that, guys. Let's move on to our next game, though. Speaking of Boston, one of the lower implied team totals, if not the lowest, at 3.4, going up against the Tampa Bay Rays. JT Hayes, Wander, Low. I mean, we got some guys on the Rays side that I'm at least looking at. Are you going to look at anybody from this game?
Yeah, I like McClanahan, and I like the Rays here. I like them at least a mini, but we've seen in the early going that there are more runs scored in this park this season. And Rich Hill is a guy who can give up the long ball. He, has looked mediocre at best in his first few starts. Earned run average is 7. His expected earned run average not much lower than that at 430. So I think that you can expect the Rays to put up some runs here, and I like them quite a bit.
AP, you want to jump on the Rays wagon here, either with a full or a partial game stack?
Yeah, the Rays are always a team that I'm always bumping their team total up there in Saber. And this is going to be something I talk about quite often just because it makes baseball easier. But they got so much power, and they have always an ability to break a slate there with Wander and everyone. And so who's this, the 2K guy, Vidal? Do you guys know much about his game? I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm familiar with his game, but he's 2K batting 7.
Vidal Brujan?
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about?
I think he's in DC's core. Yeah, he's in DC's core, which always has me interested.
It's 2K, and if he gets on with Franco and a couple of other guys ahead of him. Well, hold on a second. Isn't he? He's hitting leadoff for this offense. So, yeah, why wouldn't he be in a core? JT Hayes?
Is he hitting leadoff?
Brujan's not hitting leadoff.
He's not hitting leadoff today?
He's hitting seventh.
He's hitting seventh.
Seventh? All right. So
or is it going to be one of those chalky 2K pieces that just gets us nothing? That's what I want to know.
I would say this about probably half of this Tampa Bay lineup. This is always the challenge with it, is I never like to go outside of the main pieces, right? Wander. In this lineup, it's probably Wander, Arozarena, and really that's it, right? Maybe Zunino, I guess. I never go too heavy in a player pool just because of the pinch hit risk there. Yeah, Brujan's 2K. I think he's fine. I wouldn't lock him in because there's always the chance that he gets 2 at-bats and Rich Hill is out of the game, and most of the Red Sox bullpen is right-handed. And all of a sudden, even though he's a switch hitter, someone else is going to come in, right? So I would say he's fine, but I wouldn't lock him in.
Okay.
Like that.
Halfway to 200 likes. Let's go. Get it up there. We need 200 today or JT Hayes is going to blow a gasket. And I don't blame him, to be honest with you. Anything else from this game, guys, or we just move on to the next one? On to the next one?
Yep, on to the next one.
Oh, we do have a little news here. Yastrzemski's got the Rona. So no Mike Yastrzemski today. I wonder if that changes anything. And we don't have lineups from this game either, JT. So I don't really know what you want to do about that. But we do have Yohan Adon, who is on the mound for the Nats today. So once they announced this Giants lineup, you want to go for a couple? That's you, JT.
Yes. I'm like,
what were you thinking there, JT? Take me through the process. What happened there for those 3 seconds?
I just heard you say once they announce the lineup, you want to go for a couple. And I'm like, you want to go have a couple of beers? I mean, I planned
Yohan Adon, but I want to hit that guy.
Yeah. I like the Giants here a bit. Yohan Adon is a talented prospect for the Nationals. And he looks like in the early going, he's been hit around a little bit and he's been getting a little bit lucky to boot. So I think some of these guys here, you should have built in Jock Peterson, Brandon Crawford, nice and warm in the district today. So I like some of these Giants bats. And then, district, you could always look at Soto, and Josh Bell has been playing well. Keibert Ruiz. A lot of times I don't pick on Logan Webb, but there's, something about that price point and some other things that I think it's okay to take a couple of Nationals today. Okay.
Any interest here, Mr. AP?
Yeah, definitely fading. Well, I'm definitely fading the Nationals. I'm kind of not I just think there's going to be a lot of spots that we can attack. Sure, it'll be pretty contrarian. I it comes down to if you're playing 150, or are you playing 20 max, or are you playing 1 to 3, or a cash game lineup. If you're playing 150, I think you can open up a little bit and get a little bit more contrarian. But I think if you're doing what I'm doing, playing 1 to 3 today, we want to really define our spots. So off the Nationals, but yeah, the Giants, another team that it's get a nice matchup. They're always one that we want to at least look at having exposure to. Just a ton of power in this lineup. We don't have a lineup yet, right?
Either side.
Yeah, either side. So no, they're definitely, unless we get some crazy, just terrible lineup, I'm definitely going to be having exposure to the Giants.
Okay, very good. Like button would be nice. Let me give you another marketing point here. What do we want to talk about, JT Hayes? The incredible stuff that we have here at Run Pure Sports. So how about the promo code Run Pure at Underdog NBA Playoff Best Ball? Have you guys played that yet? I know Simon is always playing stuff over there. Underdog NBA Playoff Best Ball, 200K GPP. You got MLB, you got NFL Best Ball contests, and we got Run Pure as the code. You go over to Underdog and new signups up to $100 deposit matching bonus with your first deposit. So that's a nice little thing we got going on. The next one we got going on, let's discuss the Yankees for a second. Yankees, Indians, Guardians. First time I screwed that up this season. It's not bad. We're almost done with April already, too. Yankees-Guardians. So we had home runs yesterday. We have Stephen Kwan running into why the hell do they have a metal fence covering things at this point? We're in 2022. We want guys to die out there. You got players from the Guardians going into the stands, climbing up the wall, screaming at them. You got some of the fans giving this sign to them, which is not very nice. It's very misogynistic, JT. You've got Aaron Judge having to go out there with Stanton, telling everybody to calm down because the Yankee fans are throwing beers and water bottles and hitting umpires. What the hell's going on, Yankee fans? Got a little roid rage in the bleachers lately? What's going on with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, the Bronx is a different place, right? I mean, there's a reason why they don't play night games on Saturdays in the Bronx anymore. I'll just say that. And why? They don't want the people drinking all day long and then getting excited for the game. It's just not a safe environment. So but you want to talk about the game more so. And I think we've talked about Garrett Cole and the fact that I think he's going to rebound at some point. I don't love this matchup, but I think that Cole, he's going to be 25% owned, but I do think he's going to bounce back sooner or later. I did talk about the Guardians liking their run game here. You've got guys up and down this lineup who will take bases. The top three guys, Straw, Juan Ramirez, will take bases. Rosario, Owen Miller, Andres Jimenez. This is a team that can steal, and particularly easy to steal on Garrett Cole and Jose Trevino today. On the other side of this, I'm not in love with the Yankees today. I actually like Aaron Savali a little bit here. I think he's too cheap for his talent level. Hasn't had a great start to the season, but he's going to get it going, and I think he could be today.
And Stanton's not in the lineup, but he also is not hitting the ball very well over the last few. AP, Yankees, Guardians. Have you said Indians this year, by the way?
No, I haven't done a baseball show.
Oh, well, welcome. Do you want to just say it to get it out of the way?
Yeah. So the Indians here, I mean, they've been hitting the ball very, very well. But if that offends anyone, I go get a hug from someone. But I hate being on the opposite side of my guy JTA's here because I kind of like the Yankees power. I'm not saying full stack, but I want the righties. I think Savale's been a little bit worse here against righties, gives up a lot of hard hits. So I'm looking for one-offs, home runs. When you're looking at those stacks where you're not full stacking, you're not doing a 5-3, maybe a 5-2 or 4-3-1. I'm looking at Aaron Judge types to fill that one spot in. So that's what I'm going to be doing with the Yankees here. I see one of these power bats, righty power bats going deep today. But I don't think it's a spot that we want to full stack. And then, Garrett Cole, I'm going to be banking on him having a rebound day. I love his K prop, juice to the over, 6.5, juice to the over pretty heavily. So Vegas likes him. I like him, and I'll probably be locking him in.
Okay. For those of you that are the premium subscribers, Draft Cheats core is up. Uncle T's core is up. GT Hayes will get his up there. AP will get his up there, but we got a while till first pitch, so let's not worry about that. Like button would be nice. You guys are really, really slow today. So wake up, get it going. JT Hayes, we're going to get going to your Atlanta Braves taking on the Miami Marlins. Are you okay if I keep saying Pablo Lopez is going to be the Cy Young Award winner in the National League? Can I make that case, JT Hayes? I know he doesn't have much about today, but I love that guy.
I think you can say that. I think it's more likely that Sandy Alcantara wins the Cy Young Award in the National League. Yeah, you
like him more.
I like them both, but I think Sandy is a much more consistent pitcher. I think he's got the greater upside in terms of overall talent.
Love me some Pablo, but it doesn't matter today, right? It doesn't matter. Jazz Chisholm. Seems like he's hitting home runs left and right. When I look at this team, you got the Braves. You know what? Screw it. I'm not even going to set it up. Braves-Marlins. Go for it, JT.
Yeah. Interesting matchup here. Luzardo getting a lot of publicity coming into the season. Velocity up, control quite good. Went out in his first start against the Angels and dominated. Did not dominate at home in his last start against the Cardinals. Underlying metrics still look very good for Jesus Luzardo. Just comes down to the fact that the Braves are built to destroy left-handed pitching. So it's a very tough matchup for him. But we saw Trevor Rogers do okay in this same matchup on Friday night. Difference here, Luzardo is $2K more expensive on DraftKings. So it's really tough. Much as I like Luzardo and much as I think he can pitch well here, it's a tough matchup for him. On the other side, a guy, Bryce Elder, his expected ERA is 3 runs higher than his actual ERA. He's not missing a lot of bats, and I don't think he's going to miss a lot of bats here today. In particular, you mentioned Yaz Chisholm hit an absolute bomb. What's that?
Yaz Chisholm.
That's the way you need to listen to Don Mattingly, Holden. You need to listen to how Don Mattingly.
You know what? Lou Piniella used to call Raul Ibanez that Ibanez feller. He goes, I like that.
I listened to an interview with Mattingly in spring training, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, who the fuck is he talking about? Yes. I'm like, Yastrzemski's not on this team. And then I realized, oh, it's Jazzy Chisholm. Anyway, him, Jesus Sanchez, I think are very interesting plays today. And I think the Marlins, I mean, this Braves team is going to get it together, but the bullpen's kind of in shambles. Colin McHugh has not pitched the way that the Braves have expected him to. The bullpen is depleted. So this is a situation where if Elder gets in trouble, he may just have to take one for the team here today and stay in there and give up some hard hits, which is what he's been doing. So I like the Marlins here a little bit. And Braves right-handed power against the lefty, you can always take a shot at.
Okay. Talk to me here, AP. You want to take any shots in this game?
Yeah, so I stacked the Braves up yesterday. It was a fun game environment. I think, man, the more we go through this, I'm going to have to find some more spots that I'm going to be fading. I think we have plenty of fades later on in the slate, but because I don't want to get, too happy with the slate here. But, man, I think a full game stack can make a lot of sense. I like what JT Hayes had to say about the Atlanta bullpen. While I liked the Atlanta side more coming in, it makes me like a full stack here. A little Jorge Soler, a little revenge against his Braves. I mean, really, he was with the Royals for much longer, but won a championship with the Braves, so we can call it some revenge. He's hit the ball pretty nice against his former team. 3 hits in the series so far. I think that gets extended. I like him there in a stack, and then Jazz or Yaz, as JT Hayes calls him. I mean,
Don Mattingly calls him that. I'm going to find
that's what his parents call him, so JT Hayes. That's what his parents call him. Yaz is so ridiculous. Name. So yeah, I think this is going to be one of those games that I definitely bump up. Like, here's a little bit of my process too. Like I like when I'm playing baseball, I go through it just like we are right now. And I go to Sabre. I got to tout Sabre a little bit because I've had some success early on, and it's been a big part of it. They have the team totals up top, and you can bump them up or down. I'll do that, and I'll whittle my way through, and I'll X out more and more teams, and then I run the builds. I run 1,500, and then I go through that process again, and I fine tune it even more, and it's worked out a ton. So what I'm saying is, going through this, talking with JT Hayes and you, Holden, this is a game I like. I'm going to bump it up. I'm going to, both of those team totals are going up, and I want to see what it looks like when I go to finalize my build. So the process has been really sound for me, especially when I have, 2 goats on here that know baseball way, way more than I do to help me out. So it's always a good thing.
One goat, one woat. Okay.
Oh, come on, Holden. Come on. You know baseball.
I wasn't talking about me.
Oh, I got you.
I set you up on that one. He's definitely JT Hayes, definitely a goat. There's no question about that.
So I got a question. Can you really throw? What was it? You said you can throw 88?
No.
JT Hayes?
No.
Oh, okay. Or over 80?
Over 80, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would put my over under at like 58.
Yeah.
Maybe less. I'm
not
a baseball player.
Had a nice practice yesterday, threw off the mound, felt outstanding. I can't wait. We start our season next week.
Can
we get video footage of this sometime? We'll make a highlight reel. Maybe what we do is we have Simon recreate our intro, and we'll get JT Hayes on there throwing pitches.
There you go.
Do you purposefully hit anybody or just brush them back, or have you done that?
Not since I was a kid.
No, you don't do it anymore? If you don't like the guy, what do? You just throw him a regular pitch?
Strike him out. Yeah,
it's not as fun.
Makes you feel a lot better.
Whatever, dude. 81 can hurt a little bit in the right spot. 81 can hurt. 73, not as much, but I guess you got to hit a guy in the face, right?
If you get hit in the calf, it's going to hurt.
No, it's not. Get out of here.
Painful.
Holden should be fired for quoting Bob Nightingale. Bob Nightingale is one of the best reporters in the business. Does he get stuff wrong? Yes, but Bob Nightingale is a saint also, okay? So don't you start me and Bob Nightingale. He's not gonna come on the show, but he is a saint. He's a wonderful human being. Okay, you leave him alone. Terry Niehaus, I got $100. Oh, that's Uncle T on JT over 80 miles an hour. Dude is ripped. Just because the dude is ripped, that actually could hurt your velocity, couldn't it, JT Hayes? I mean, if you lost a little weight and stretched out, maybe you'd get to 85.
It could.
Yeah. I'm not saying, lose the fat, lose the muscle. You're just too yoked. Yeah. You don't see pitchers that are yoked. Thumbs up for Holden suggesting hitters getting hit in the face. Yeah, you're right, Brian. Let's go. Let's get it to 200. This is what this show is all about. Being petty, vengeful.
Oh, we don't want to see that.
Huh?
I said we don't want to see that. That's always tough to watch.
What?
Batters getting hit in the face? Is that what you said?
Oh, not in the face. No. We don't need that. St. Louis, Cincinnati. 5.5 implied total here for St. Louis. There is it Lodolo, right? Nick Lodolo today?
Yep.
Solo Dolo. What if Albert Pujols gets a fastball? Can he hit a home run and pay off today, JT Hayes?
He could. And they've been playing Pujols. I think they've been playing him the entirety of these games when he starts. So it's not like he's going to get lifted, immediately when a right-handed pitcher comes in. So I don't see the prices here on the card. I don't see anything that strikes me as I'm going to play any one of them as a one-off. I think it's a full stack opportunity here. And then, on the other side, daytime Colin Moran, 2.7K. This is a guy who has excelled during the day. He gets Wainwright, who's still pitching well this late in his career. Some indicators maybe that Wainwright is going to give up some runs here pretty soon. So this lineup has just been so tough in terms of scoring runs. They just really haven't done it. But they're priced very, very cheaply. You talked about Pujols at 3.3 on DraftKings. Joey Votto is just 3.3 on DraftKings.
Did you see him real quick, JT? He came out with a tweet. He's just like going down the rabbit hole. He's like, I'm in a slump. I can't see the end of the tunnel right now. I mean, he's a little dejected, man. I don't know about Votto today, but hey, maybe it's reverse psychology.
This lineup's a little tough to play, though. Yeah. I mean, you got guys like JT Riddle and a catcher I've never heard of at the bottom. Pham is mired in a deep, deep slump. So I'm not suggesting to play Wainwright, but the Reds here are tough, even in this good park environment. 80 degrees, a little bit of a wind blowing out to left field. We know how small this park plays, especially in nice weather during the day.
Shout out to Larry Chipper Jones on his 50th birthday. Shout out to him. Also, there is somebody in chat that wants to see your pipes, your guns, JT Hayes. Can you roll up the sleeves and show us your gigantic biceps? Or are you embarrassed?
No, I'm not embarrassed.
Let's go. Roll up those sleeves. Roll them up. Oh, my God. Look at that dude. Look at this. He goes on a diet. You see his veins. I'm telling you right now, JT Hayes.
It's not a diet. It's if I get dehydrated, you'll see my veins.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Come on, AP. Let's see the guns. Hey, by the way, did that hurt getting a tattoo right here? Did that hurt?
It didn't tickle.
It didn't tickle?
No.
It would be embarrassing. Going after JT Hayes there would be too embarrassing. And we got too many games to get through. I got NBA cores and MLB cores.
All right. I'll pick it up, AP. I get the hint. AP. We'll pick up the pace here. Jeez Louise. We got this NASCAR show coming up next too. So we better pick it up. We got 3 games left. Did you say anything about Cincinnati, St. Louis?
I like the Cardinals. They're one team that I bumped. I'm going to be so like a lot of it is comparing these stacks. So they're one team I'm considering. I'm not playing the Reds here against Wainwright.
No, don't even bother. Next game, we'll go to Toronto and Houston. A lot of offense here. I know one of our coordinators is on Houston today, some Houston bats. I know a lot of people are always going to love little daddy Vlad Guerrero. What are your plays from this one, JT Hayes? Is it a game you're interested in?
Yeah, I think this Houston lineup against Kikuchi is interesting. Always like to take right-handed power against Kikuchi. So Chas McCormick leading off at just 2.7 is interesting. The Blue Jays bullpen has been mediocre as well. You got Yuli down there. I wouldn't be afraid to include Jordan or Kyle Tucker in these lineups either, just because they hit lefties very well. And if they do get to Kikuchi, it's going to be mostly right-handers out of that Blue Jays pen. So I like them. I like Garcia as a pitcher. I don't love the 9K price point here in this matchup. Just think that the length and the matchup make it a little bit difficult to get to him. You can take shots on the Blue Jays power. I don't know that I will today. So kind of lean more on the Houston side.
AP, Houston, Toronto. You do have some big time players. You heard the little value there with Chas McCormick. What do you got from the Blue Jays and Astros?
Yeah, I'm going to be, I think like we got to make some stands somewhere. I think this is going to be one of the games that I'm personally a little bit underweight on. A lot of big names. They usually catch some ownership. I don't have ownership projections up in front of me or anything like that, but I just think, with a lot of the other spots that I already like them that I'm on, I got to make some cuts. And this is going to be one that I most likely end up under on the slate.
Okay. Very good. JT Hayes, next game, as we are rolling here, it's the White Sox and the Twins. If you didn't hear, Eloy is on the IL for 6 to 8 weeks, hamstring right there. You got the White Sox going up against the Twins. Boy, Byron Buxton, man. 5,800. You want to take a shot there, JT?
Buxton's great. Probably not. I mean, we've talked a lot about not attacking this White Sox bullpen. They do get Giolito here coming back from a short trip to the IL. Biggest concern for Gio is you don't know what the length is going to be here. Hasn't gone more than 4 2/3 in any game this season. So I think if you get 5, that's probably the max here from Gio with that bullpen. And that's the other thing to consider here is La Russa will go to that bullpen because they're just a bunch of studs that come out throwing in the high 90s. So I don't like a lot from this game. I'm an Archer at 6-1 with a weakened lineup for the White Sox, I think is probably going to be popular or more popular than he would have been. And I just don't know if I'm interested in him at all on this slate. He could be fine, but he's also one of those guys that, you could get 12 or 13 points and he could be out of there in 5.
AP, what do you got?
Yeah, the White Sox have looked just terrible, and now the lineup gets a little bit worse. I think that's what that's going to do is, I think you'll see Chris Archer as an option that some people go to. I don't like it. It continues to get pulled after 4 innings, so I'll be under projecting him. I've been one of the people that's been stacking this White Sox team, and they've been terrible, absolutely terrible. So I'm going to be off this game probably entirely today. And I wanted to play Giolito, but I don't know if I can. I think McClanahan in that range is a much better, safer play with more upside, unless somehow we just get, unless he mows them down. And that's sometimes you get those random spots where if nothing's announced and if he's just, absolutely mowing, they leave him in there. And so I'm a little bit torn, but I do think it's risky relative to the other options that we have in that range.
JT Hayes, since you already flexed your pipes, everybody's afraid of you. Double now. What do you think about just posting our plays of the day in the premium Discord since we're at 147 and we need 200? Thoughts on that? Have we ever done that? Have we ever really backed it up? Okay, I say we do it again today.
Yeah, I want to give some benefit here, just because I know that we've got a lot more content going on. There was an NBA show just before, right? So people may be moving in and out, trying to make lineups, but I think we need to get to 175 at least. So we got to get to 175. We'll lower the number just for today. It's a one-day sale, and if we don't get there, then we do it just in Discord.
One-day sale. Okay. Very good. You know what, AP? I'm going to come to you first here for this Pirates-Cubs game. You've been sitting here.
I'm going to go to you. Well, no, I mean, my take is the donkey one on this. It's the chalk take. It's the winds are blowing out, and so let's get a piece. And no, but I want the baseball experts. I mean, you're the guy that grew up going to these Cubs games. So talk to us about it, Holden.
I'm just saying, man, you could see another 21 if you want to, but I've seen too many of these games.
Okay, I'm one that fades Coors more. I'm like the opposite of Title, so I like to get leverage on these spots.
Me too.
So
I love starting Marquez at home, and I think Senzatella is going to be fun to play at home this year. But at Wrigley, I've just seen it too much. Again, if you're playing it, there's going to be a ton of ownership on it. And I think there's other places to go. JT Hayes, how invested you want to be with the Cubs today?
Not at all.
I like it.
Always this is just the way I play. It's not about the matchup. It's more about, the expected value and patterns of the game. When a team scores 21 runs, it's a very low probability that they're going to wind up in the winner again on the next day.
You're right.
They probably went out drinking the night before or last night after that, all that production.
I mean, maybe it's just more of, and how many times have we seen these wind games in April in Chicago bust, right? So if that game busts and you're off it, then you're ahead of the field. I mean, and really, like I said, I think Garrett Cole bounces back here, but if you think that he's broken and you play the Guardians, you got a leg up on 60% of the field today. It looks like his ownership is climbing. So interesting stuff on Sunday.
I agree with you. And I look at, compare it to a game like the Marlins and Braves that we talked about, especially the Marlins side, understanding that Bryce Elder, they might have to push him a long ways. And I see no ownership on the Marlins side at all. So I think I'm going to favor a stack like that. And I'm going to be with you guys. I think I can't trust the Pirates. I had a few of them in my stack yesterday in my core, and they suck. They're terrible. I always get suckered into playing Daniel Vogelbach, and just because he has some power. But man, I'm going to be with you guys. Probably be under on this game.
JT Anthopoulos came out, said May 6th target day for Acuna, but if he keeps playing like this, it might be earlier. So we might get a little Acuna shortened spring training.
I don't think it's so much if Acuna keeps playing that well. I think it's if the Braves keep not winning, then you'll see Acuna sooner rather than later. Because he looks, listen, all kidding aside, they said, and I get this, that he didn't get any spring training. They want him to get the feel of the game against a lower level of competition before they bring him up, right? He looks like he's in game shape, and the Braves could use the help in the outfield. They could use the help in their lineup. So I think that has a lot more to do with it here. But the right thing politically to say is, it's all dependent on Ronald's health. Ronald looks fine. I think it's more dependent on, do the Braves keep sliding?
Okay. Did we do enough to get to the plays of the day? Or, if you really want to get him back, you're only going to get my play of the day, which has been good this year, but that would be very disappointing if you didn't get the two. JT Hayes, you adjusted it. What do you want to do? Up to you.
I mean, we only
do
got
stacks or anything, or do we do, how do we do this on Sundays?
Yeah, I guess we could do the stacks first. And if they don't get the 175, we'll throw the other ones out. Okay. What do you got for stacks here, AP? What's your number one?
Go to JTA, because what I'm doing, I'm seeing what Saber gives me. So I went through while we're on the show, I bumped up the spots I liked, some of what JT Hayes likes. I bumped down the spots that Holden likes, and we're gonna get the winners.
100% exposure to the Cubs today, AP. JT Hayes, stacks. Let's go. Give us two.
Yeah. So the conventional stacks are San Francisco. And a point on San Francisco with Yastrzemski out is an even thinner bench for Gabe Kapler, which is good for DFS because we know that he's a guy that will pinch hit guys, some of the guys on this team in the fourth inning. So you probably expect it's not going to be Duggar, who they're projecting because he's on the IL. So now you got Yaz on the IL as well. So you figure maybe it's going to be Slater, and you could expect that most of these guys are going to remain in the game because Kapler's got reduced availability of guys that he can swap out, right? So I like the Nats here. I like the Marlins against this kid Elder. He's giving up hard contact. His expected ERA is a full 3 runs over where his ERA is. And I think there's some power here. I was one of the guys here who before the season said, I think the Marlins have some talent. I think they're underrated here. I think they can compete in the East. So I like them. I like St. Louis. And then I like Houston a little bit here just because of the power that Kikuchi could bring to the table in terms of giving up that power. Non-conventional stacks, I think and Tampa Bay, excuse me. So Tampa Bay.
That's my bad.
Non-conventional stacks, I think you can take a shot on some Nationals because of what I'm seeing with Logan Webb. And I really do believe that the Guardians could be the low-owned surprise of this slate, not just based on Cole and whether he's broken or not, but because you've got Trevino behind the plate and you've got 7 guys in this lineup that can steal a base. And if they decide that they're going to run around the base pass on Garrett Cole, it's going to be a long day for the Yankees and a short day for him.
So get hit in the face with beer bottles and then they can't see and then they can't run.
I mean, the Yankees fans were ornery yesterday, so you never know what's going to happen.
Not nice, guys. You went straight Philly. AP, are you ready or would you like me to buy some time?
No, we're ready here. So like what's interesting, I went through I bumped down the Pirates. I bumped down that game quite a bit. And I bumped up the Atlanta game quite a bit as well. So the order of stacks that came up. So what I'm doing is in Sabre, if you have a Sabre membership, you go through. Now we're in step 3 and I'm looking at teams. And so it's going to tell me when I run 1,500 builds, obviously the top 150 are coming up. And then when I pull up team, it's going to tell me my exposures to each team. I'm getting 70% Giants stacks, which, so tells me they're going to be somewhat popular. The next on the list is Cardinals, followed by the Pirates, which just absolutely disgust me. So it makes me think that, they're going to be chalk on the slate. What I'm getting at is even though I bumped up Atlanta and the Marlins, I'm getting almost none of them. So it makes me like them a little bit more because that tells me ownership-wise, they're not going to get any love today, and I think it's a nice spot. So you can use tools like Sabre and optimizers to help give you a better understanding of what the slate texture ownership-wise is going to look like, and then you can make adjustments there. I would never just like take the projections, plug them in, and run 150 and run the optimal what everyone else is running. Don't do that. You have to add some personal bias to it. You got to dive in. You got to get some research. It's making me like some of these lower-owned stacks, like the Braves game that we talked about even more. So I'm going to say Marlins Braves, kind of my favorite game to stack up today.
Yeah, I know. I already know that I'm only playing one lineup here. I'm playing more NBA today, but I already know I'm going to regret not listening to JT and plugging in a couple of those Guardians because I already got my lineup down here. All right, let's do plays.
You guys are going against Cole then? I like that too. It's baseball. Anything can happen.
He's going against Cole. I wish I was going against Cole. I love the Rays too much today. I love another couple one-offs. Okay, JT Hayes, the Eiffel Tower play of the day.
Yeah, Cole's first start of the season against the Red Sox. It was the day I had a core up, and I plugged in on Rafael Devers from the Red Sox. First at bat, 2-run home run. Had a nice day. Even if Cole is on, he's going to give up some power. Hard to see him getting through a clean game here, even if he pitches well. Give me Jose Ramirez.
Ooh, the Jose Ramirez. That's what it is. Is it the gentleman's play of the day? The drink play of the day? What is it, AP? What is the play?
Do whatever you want. It's changed a couple times. I think it's a gentleman's call of the day.
Yeah, let's do the gentleman's
Jorge Soler, revenge narrative. He goes deep against his former team.
Okay.
JT hates it.
No. I like the call. Yeah. I like the call. The revenge narrative is what I laughed at. Only because I was there. I was there at the game Friday night, and we gave him, myself and my wife included, like a 3-minute standing ovation just because of what this guy meant to the Braves. He is so grateful to the Braves because we got him that contract with Miami. I mean, he got it. He played well throughout the second half and in the playoffs of the World Series.
I would give the Royals credit. The Royals helped. It all started there.
All right, enough screwing around, boys. We got to get to the NASCAR show, okay? Keg and Cooper waiting. Give me some Mike Zunino, not on FanDuel. He's 2-1 on FanDuel, and I don't play FanDuel. 4K on DraftKings, going against the lefty in a nice spot today. You can go a little Zunino. You can go a little Brujan if you want to. Do what you want. I don't care. Mike Zunino, the whatever play of the day I have. It has nothing to do with edibles. JT Hayes, wonderful to see you today. Wonderful to see your guns. Wonderful to see your guns. Do all tattoos hurt?
I mean, look, I'm probably over-evaluating.
Yeah.
Because I got this a while ago.
I'm getting tattoos, is what I'm saying. Yeah, so I'm excited about it.
Are you going to get one on your forehead?
Probably on my neck. I'm going to do some neck tack.
You know what word I'd like to see on your neck?
Tack.
On the back of your neck. On the back of my neck.
Does that mean something? Probably means something.
CU something T on the back of your neck would look fantastic.
Ooh, I'll do that. Yeah, with a picture of your face. Okay, let's get out of here. Simon, hit the like button on the way out. Good to see you, AP. Good to see you, JT Hayes. NASCAR show is next. Keg stopping by. Coop stopping by. Simon, get us out of here.